Welcome to Sports Trebuchet. This is Marty, the same person who does it. This is issue number 9. I'm Marty.
Kyle.
Josh.
Anthony.
And Anthony, we're here. What a great start.
Professionalism.
We've got clearly the best show. It'll definitely be the shortest show in the last 2 episodes. I'll edit it, and it won't make sense if we do go long. It'll just be a hard cutoff. I usually lead this off with what we're going to talk about, but then I also realized that I put that in the fucking show notes every week. So look at your phone if you want to see what we're going to talk about, or just listen. It's a surprise.
Or just look at the screen.
Do some of the research online like we did. But I will tell you what we're starting off with. We are going to start a new segment, and it's going to be Blank Corner. So it's going to be one of our corners, and we're rotating it, so every 4th podcast they'll get a turn.
All spinners.
And nothing is off limits to be talked about except for politics. That is going to be on our Catapult Politics podcast if you're interested. Because James Carville's lined up.
Yeah, I'm down. So check that one out.
Can you imagine? Those episodes will run long, I think. So today, the inaugural corner for Sports Trebuchet is going to be Kyle's corner.
Yes.
Take it away.
All right, so first thing that we've got to get out of the way is that I got involved in a bet that I wasn't really involved in. So Marty and our wonderful producer Kyle had a little bet. I don't really remember what the parameters were for it, like what you guys were actually betting.
I bet him that North Carolina State would beat A&M in a bowl game, and I also bet him that Texas would beat Georgia in a bowl game. And we both had what would happen if both teams won or both teams lost. And neither happened. So when we asked, hey, what should we do if we split, you were in the chat.
Yeah. And I think it was Kyle said, well, Kyle has to say nice things about both of us. And then I said, how the hell am I in this? And you both said that I interjected myself into it.
Clearly you did. And you doing this proves our point completely.
Well, I'm just trying to be a team player over here. All right.
I appreciate it.
So let's do this.
Hit the music.
Yeah, hit it. So first of all, I need to say that Kyle, thank you so much for carrying my ass through Call of Duty so many years ago. It really meant a lot, and you're just such a tender lover.
Kyle Holt wasn't playing; he just carried Kyle around the room like it was a VR experience.
It was, yeah. No, he took out his phone and set it up on on Skype and just walked around the room.
Yeah.
I got to see it all. And then Marty, you're okay. Adorable. You've done so much for me. Fuck both of you guys. That's about as much as we're getting out of me.
I realize now that our nickname could be All for One now because there's 4 of us.
Because there's 4 of us.
Because we somehow looped nasty.
And we all swear.
And we do. Yeah. You know what? By the moon and the stars.
And the sky.
I'm glad you shut that song off because I was about to cry.
Were you?
Yeah.
That song does do it for me.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to really, come from the heart right there, so.
Clearly.
All right, so we're going to start this off with the actual corner now. A couple of quick hits that I want to hit. First of all, Syracuse beat Duke in basketball on Monday, and I was shaking because that is the best thing that's happened all week.
Literally shaking.
I was literally shaking.
Literally, he went to the bathroom and he was shaking.
I was. Yeah, I was. But shook too much and was considered playing with myself.
Yeah, true.
But
that's why he has a sling today.
yeah. I pulled my delt. No.
He tattooed Duke across his dick, so he just beat the shit out of it and relived the moment.
Yep, that's exactly what I did. Second of all, looking at the polls, so North Carolina.
We all know how reliable polls are.
Oh yeah, and this is right up there with it. So North Carolina, they got their asses handed to.
Just to be clear, you're talking about the measurement, not the people from Poland.
Yeah.
Yes, the measurement.
You really want him to just go in on the entire country of Poland?
No, I dated a Polish girl. I was a cunt.
They've had enough.
Yeah, she must do everything backwards.
Historically, they've had a time.
They had a
Carry
really
on.
bad last century.
Yes.
Wrong
yeah.
place, wrong time, all the time.
So,
So
Good
it's
idea
like-
for my corner, the downfall. The
the downfall.
I mean, it's
It'll be hardcore history with
like
Josh.
they say.
the down and downer fall of Poland.
It's like what they always say: how to get a one-arm Pollock out of a tree? Wave.
Oh,
Good.
boy.
Okay.
Okay,
I
go.
apologize.
So yes, UNC, they're number 12 in the polls last week, and they ended up getting their ass handed to them by Louisville at home by 20 points. Now you'd think that if you do that probably lose like 5-7 spots in the A people. No, they dropped one spot in the A people. How in the hell does that happen?
True.
It's UNC,
Yeah, but that's bullshit.
and Louisville still has.
What was Louisville? It was Louisville. Louisville's ranked, right?
No, they were 10-5 and coming off a loss against Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. 1 point. That's not good.
Well, just losing one spot in the.
I mean, I'm sorry,
in the
one
pool,
spot,
in the
yeah.
pool. Yeah, it
But
doesn't
is
make sense.
Pittsburgh ranked? Isn't Pittsburgh
No.
ranked?
But Pittsburgh did just beat Florida State, who is ranked. So now they have 2 good wins back to back, but that wouldn't have mattered when the polls came out.
Did Louisville get ranked after beating UNC so
Nope.
thoroughly?
No.
Did you specify that this is college basketball?
I did not. This is college basketball.
I guess it's not hockey,
I mean,
but
yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. But let's get into the real question I wanted to ask. This
Ooh, it's a
is-
question.
It's a question. I want
Oh, yeah.
to hear your take on this. So this stems from a conversation I had with my cousin Kirk. Shout out to Kirk. He had asked me if I had heard of Greta Van Fleet, and I was like, "Yeah, baby Led Zeppelin." And then he really enjoys them. I have respect for what they're doing. They sound good. Here's my question though. You have a bunch of people out there that always say, "Oh, nobody makes music like they used to. I wish that I'd hear something that sounds like what I used to listen to. I love that stuff." And then you have a band come out like Greta Van Fleet, who has an extreme retro sound, and all I hear is people trash them and say, "Oh, they're just a Led Zeppelin knockoff." These are the same people that are yearning for past sounds. My question is, why can't we just like something anymore?
True.
Well, my hot sports opinion here is that Led Zeppelin's not a very good band to begin with. But also, if Led Zeppelin were to somehow come up with a new record, they'd also shit on that because it's not old Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Like, no matter what.
Like Metallica.
yeah.
Right.
But in this case, you've got Led Zeppelin fans, people that really like Led Zeppelin, that hate Greta Van Fleet because they say they're just a blatant knockoff of Led Zeppelin. But if you enjoy Led Zeppelin's music, shouldn't you at least give it a try and possibly like it?
I think there are three separate types of fan though, right? You have the casual, you have the super
Die hard, yeah.
die hard, and then you have the one in the middle. And this goes back to like Lord of the Rings and shit like that too. Like pretty much anything really. Like there are a crowd that will not read something because they think it's a rip-off of Lord of the Rings because they're the hardcore crowd. So like really, like it's kind of almost like that Reddit gatekeeping page.
Yeah.
Like it's literally full of a bunch of people that think they know so much more than everybody else that they'd rather cut their nose off to spite their face than just enjoy it.
Well,
And I think that's what it is. Like, and it goes back to also the same people, and I don't know if we'll talk about it today, but we'll definitely talk about it at some point on a podcast. The same people that you've seen online that are desperately willing for either AEW or WWE to fail due to the other one.
Right.
They're the same people that hate the other band because of Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Like, they're just a subset of idiots, and
Well,
unfortunately, the
it's-
internet gives them a
it's-
better voice.
it's like Josh. Josh, you're from England, right?
No.
Right.
That's
So it's
been a
like
bit
when
this whole time.
Wham came out, and then when George Michael came out, they were bashing him. Like they should have just kept it the same. Correct.
George Michael being solo after
Solo.
Wham.
Yeah.
Wham was before I was even born.
Oh.
They were 80s.
Well, they're from
They were from the England.
They were from
area.
England. The England area. They were.
It was from the England,
The region of England. I think
It's a great question, though.
I think there's probably a couple different aspects too, because like I bet if Greta Van Fleet plays well with an 18-year-old
Sure.
who otherwise hadn't listened to Led Zeppelin, they're like, this is fucking killer, and their 18-year-old friend who's a Led Zeppelin fan in a room full of like, pop fans and everything else in high school, so they're kind of singled out, and Greta Van Fleet serves as a gateway band into the classics.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away what that guy identifies as his bit.
Okay.
Possibly, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if it's your bit, it's the same brushback that happens with every band, right? Like, Coldplay didn't get worse because they got more popular.
They got more popular. People then just assumed they were.
Right, and they were no longer like that band I saw with 20 people at Doors and Deep Ellum or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's so like for those people that the identity, it's without saying identity politics, it's like identity politics, right? Because like something that's part of your identity, like I'm the Led Zeppelin guy, you're gonna bash anything that's not Led Zeppelin. The same people that like, how many people I've drawn off sides by saying what I honestly think, which is like Pink Floyd, absolute shit music, awful, aimless, no point, hate it. But there's people that like grew up in every era since, or every generation since Pink Floyd, that's Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's their high school experience or their college experience or everything else. So by saying you don't like it, you attack it, and anything that's copycat is just that. But if Greta Van Fleet was nothing more than a Led Zeppelin cover band, you'd be talking about how great of a cover band they are.
Because that guy has an amazing voice.
Right. And like and it's not his fault that he sounds like that.
And that they found a great niche and they're like, you know what? We're going to go out and we're going to make music that sounds like this.
Right.
I guess that's what I'm really getting at, is that people yearn for an old sound and say, oh, they don't make music like they used to. But then when somebody comes out and makes music like they used to, totally different, totally new person, new band, that it gets, half the time it gets shit on. Because, and it's by the same people that want that.
Sure.
You can't have it both ways.
Well, and I think nostalgia should stay nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are like when you have nostalgia get recreated, and now it fits in both boxes. It fits in current and your nostalgic, genre of music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably an internal conflict for whoever it is, because then they don't feel like they're doing a good service for Led Zeppelin. And maybe there's also a small part that says like Led Zeppelin's lyrics or their songs, you can feel all the drugs they're pumping into their fucking body, or their experiences, or like their if they had a song about the fucking times of like what was going on in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like We Didn't Start the Fire, right? If someone came up with a song like that right now about then, it'd be like, you don't fucking know, man. Like you weren't there, dude. And like shit like that. I think it's that, and people just want to be cunts about shit.
Yeah, I think that's what it really boils down to, is that people just want to be fucking assholes about it.
Yeah, because if nothing else, they sound better than Led Zeppelin purely off auto quality.
Yeah.
There's no remastering of Led Zeppelin that will ever sound as good as what their sound is. Right?
I agree with that.
Good corner.
That's a great corner, dude.
Yeah, man.
I did not see it coming, but I guess I should have guessed music. Especially Kirk. Did Kirk bring up Hoobastank? I know he likes them. I didn't know if he wanted to talk about it.
He sent me a video to the Reason again.
Yeah, he said, I wish Greta Van Fleet would cover this. It's my favorite song.
He said, I don't know why this wasn't up for like best hit of like the decade or last decade. I don't know.
That's
why.
what I call music aughts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyle, for the Kyle's Corner. And to announce to both Nasta, Josh, and myself, and Kyle, if you want to change the name, it doesn't have to be a corner. Like, we're going to call it the Corner, but like the Nasta Report, we all have fond memories of. So
yes.
The Nasta Report made its big comeback.
Big return.
Oh, man.
It could be Josh's Junk.
Josh's Junk, or Josh's Jam.
Well, listen.
Josh's Figgy Pudding.
Listen, this podcast is PG. I really want to see Josh's junk.
It's PG. You just bash Polish people.
Yeah, but that's PG-13.
The P is for Polish.
And you just said the word "could," so we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right away.
We're really gonna. Kyle in Texas is really gonna have some editing to do if we ever plan on having this shit muted because I'm not doing it.
We'll add that to my list of things he's good at.
I can run this next bit if you want.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, give Marty's voice a rest.
Because he's got the play.
I'm forever saying.
Yeah, let's address the NFL playoffs.
He's definitely got stars.
And mainly, the only reason I said I'd really lead off on this is because I have all of the predictions that we made.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a little count up of the scores on the doors. So the way I've done it is we're really just going to decide, and I'll start with the person in last place, and we'll see whether they got them right, whether that team won, whether they were playing the team you thought they would play or not. Cool? Cool. So in last place, this team had the Chargers winning, which was correct, good call. Cowboys winning, correct, good call. Texans winning, we all know how that went. Mm-hmm. And they also had...
The Bears.
We're not talking about that one. Yeah, so we all had the Bears, and that was a joke. So
I bet you that's me.
that was horrific. So that's 2 out of 4 they got right. The next round, they had LA going through, which was correct, and they had the Cowboys winning in the other game, which was obviously not correct because LA are not in there. The Cowboys are not in there, rather. And on the other side, they had the Chiefs and the Texans going through. Only the Chiefs went through. Texans obviously did not.
Who's picks for this?
So they are sat on 4 out of 8 predictions correct. Anthony,
They said it wasn't him.
congratulations.
I knew it was him.
You are sat in last place. And we actually have a tie for second.
Shit!
And a outrunner so far. So the 2 people in second are on 5 out of 8, and the winner currently is on 6 out of 8. So it's still very close. Only 2 game decision in it.
Hey, but my top 4 is still in there.
My champion's gone, so I'm fucked.
Right? The Chiefs, the
Who's
Saints.
the champion?
Your 2 left, you are very much in position to get yourself back in the mix because you still have the Rams and the Chiefs going through. So if you have the Rams and the Chiefs win this week, you are back up to 6 predictions.
And then I'm winning, right?
Yeah.
Because me and his picks are the same for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
Essentially, yeah. So you are on 5 out of 8. You had the Bears, the Ravens, the Colts, the Cowboys, 2 out of 4. You had LA and the Cowboys, 1 out of 2. And the Chiefs and the Pats, 2 out of 2. So you sat at 5 out of 8. Happy days. So you have the Rams and the Chiefs going through. You're on the same record
Did I
as
have the
NASA.
Cowboys going to the NFC Championship?
Yep.
Can we strike that from the record?
Nope.
No.
That was an awful call.
So if
So
we can do that, I'm changing my Chargers pick.
Yeah, right.
for me, well, for Kyle, he had the Bears, the Chargers, Texans, Cowboys, 2 out of 4 again. LA and the Saints going through, which he clean swept on that side.
Wow.
And he had the Chargers and the Pats going through on the other side, so we all know how that worked out. He got 1 out of the 2, ended up with 5 out of 8. If he has the Saints win, he can get up to 6, but that's as far as he's getting.
Yeah. So you could fight for second,
You can get 6.
maybe third.
You can get you can get 8.
Yeah.
Nasta can end up with
6.
5. 6. Apologies. No, 7. Because you got 3. You got both your teams still in it.
Oh, yeah.
So if the Rams, the Chiefs,
And me and Nasta both picked Chiefs over Rams, right?
yeah. So if you have the Rams and the Chiefs both go through, that will put you onto 6, and then you have the Chiefs win, put you onto 7.
Gotcha.
So you're still well in the mix, really, for like runner-up. And then me, I had Bears, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, got everything right with the Bears. LA and Saints got them both right. Chiefs, Chargers, didn't get that right. So I have the Saints going over the Rams, and I have the Chargers going over the Chiefs, which obviously can't happen. So I could still I'm still probably going to get like 6 or 7, well 7 or 8 if it works out. So it's going to be close at the top there, very close at the end. So
That's awesome.
that's our recap.
All right.
Thank you, Josh.
Well,
We are very
we were
close.
all off by 1. What, you know?
The only one who categorically cannot win
Is me.
is Nasta.
No,
No, you still got a chance of getting, because you've got the LA and the Saints on the other side. So if you win that, you're going to get one of them right because you've got that. That's going to be
Yeah.
a right. will put you on to 6, and then if the Pats win, that puts you on to 7, and then the Chargers can't win, obviously, but that will put you on
I
to
got
7.
you, because we
and other
predicted
people
the
could
whole
be at
string all the way
7-3.
up. That's right.
So let's talk about that.
So other people can't get high. Some people, if you have the Pats go through, they can't get any higher.
Well, this
than 6
is
or
your
7,
year,
so
Kyle.
then
You
can
didn't win fantasy
it's only him
football.
that's ruined.
True, but I don't want that to happen. So can
Really, yes, your contingency of winning is the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, so you better hope that doesn't happen.
So let's rank the outcomes. Super Bowl champion Patriots, Super Bowl champion Rams, Super Bowl champion Saints, Super Bowl champion
Chiefs
Can we all agree that the worst option of those 4 is the Patriots?
Absolutely.
easily? Nobody wants to see that.
So who's
Not
your,
even Patriots.
who's your third worst? Because my third worst is far and away the Saints.
My third worst is by far and away the Rams.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not that honestly, it's just that I've never liked the Rams, and I think that's because they share the same name as Derby County at home, and that just subconsciously has never made me like.
And you hate Derby County?
No, I just don't like them
Let
particularly.
me tell you, I think it's going to be, even though I'm not a big Saints fan, but I think it's going to be hard for the Rams to go into the Superdome. Is it a Superdome?
They almost did it this year, though. Like they almost, but it
That
was
was
with
a
Cooper Kupp.
firefight too.
Yeah, it's. And
I think
don't
it's liable
gonna
to be it again.
You think? Because
Yeah, I do.
I almost feel like the Saints look so bad against the Cow. Or not? I'm sorry.
The Saints barely won if it wasn't for that interception. They would have. They could have lost that
Against the
game.
Eagles.
Yeah, they didn't look good against the Eagles, but.
No one looks good against the Eagles.
But also,
That's
I blame that
that's the
on
problem.
coaching. I thought
They
it
drag
was
everybody down to their level. They did it all year, though. Every time I tuned into the Eagles, they drag people down.
Well,
to
there's
their
always
level.
one team that has the bye that looks like shit.
I thought it was going to be the Colts 0.20 or 2.0, whatever you want to call it.
Get a
because-
bye and lose.
Well, you sit everybody the last week.
Yeah.
Remember with Peyton Manning? They
I
sat
remember you
everybody.
saying
They
about
had
it.
the bye and they lost the first game. I was thinking if they're gonna lose, that's the reason.
But now they've got a game underneath.
Now they have a game,
underneath their.
and I thought what Sean Payton did was pretty friggin' cool. You heard what he did? He went into the locker room with the Lombardi Trophy and $250,000 cash, and told everybody in there, "You win 2 games or 3 games, whatever. This is yours." As a motivational thing.
No,
I
That was
think
pretty
they
cool.
get $250,000 cash.
Yeah, every player that wins on that team,
I'm assuming
winning
there's a,
team
yeah,
all
I'm
gets
assuming there's a
$250.
win bonus, right?
Buck,
There's a
that's
win
good.
bonus
Yeah.
for every competition.
And you get
Yeah,
a friggin'
but
ring, which is around at least 10K.
Sell that on
Which
eBay.
there's at least 2 people that are going to be homeless in 30 years that will sell it, and so that'll be publicly available.
With Kamara will be one of them.
E_Manning77 are buying them all out on eBay just to add to his collection.
I think that the Saints are probably my number 3, even though that helps me out the most in this. I don't want to see him in there just because I've seen him before.
Saints fans are kind of the worst in a lot of ways, and the only way to explain that experience is after Hurricane Katrina. Not that New Orleans deserved it. I'm not going to say that, but like they didn't get out of the way, and most of them moved. A lot of them moved to Dallas, and were just obnoxious cunts all the time. And it happened to coincide with the fact that Sean Payton worked for the Cowboys, and we had a chance to hire him as a head coach, and we didn't. And he goes to the Saints and does exactly what he's done and wins a Super Bowl, which he wouldn't have done with the Cowboys anyways, because Jerry wouldn't have let him. But Saints fans are just very, very, very obnoxious.
The SS Minnow actually washed up in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina.
You know what? And it was a 3-hour
Tour.
It
tour.
wasn't 3 hours. What the hell?
So is Drew Brees the most Gilligan-like quarterback in the league? Let's discuss. Do you even get this reference?
Nope, nope.
He's
Gilligan's
definitely.
Island's worth watching, honest to God, because it was a great show.
Yeah, I just watched it really for Marianne and Ginger, but
Yeah, Marion was
there it is.
smoking hot.
yeah.
Never
And you know the professor.
Professor was plugging both.
Is that Sean Payton? Is he the professor?
Professor's got to be Sean Payton. Absolutely.
Boy, yeah. I go Saints is.
I think.
What's your top 4?
Well, we only have 4,
Oh.
so.
We only have 4, so what's the top 4?
So Saints are 3, Patriots are worst, and it's probably a toss-up with the Rams and Chiefs. The Rams is tricky because I think if it happens, it's going to be great for them, and they need it because the fan base is kind of scattered with them moving.
Well,
from,
LA doesn't care about anything.
yeah, except
No,
for
they care about
champions.
money. They don't give a shit.
Except for champions, right? So
Yeah.
like, if you want to watch, LeBron wear a Rams cap, then like cool, but like,
Well, then tomorrow he'll wear Browns.
right? He was. I mean, he was a Cowboys
he
fan.
ain't sad.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was a Cowboys fan
And he's a
until they
Yankee
lost,
fan,
and then he had
too.
to walk into the Rams locker room.
Yeah.
Surprised he hasn't put on a Red Sox hat yet.
I think
Yeah, right.
the Chiefs are probably some of the most humble fans
They've been around.
that I've met, and they've been around for a long time.
They're-
And
it's an original
Andy
fan
Reid
base.
deserves it, honestly.
Yeah,
And
after
I'd
all
love to
the-
see that town go nuts.
Yeah.
Me too, but like it worries me the fact that they are so close to that Midwest thing because we all see what St. Louis Cardinal fans are like, which are awful.
Yeah, but they've got all that history of winning.
There's a lot of
winning.
history.
Yeah, the Chiefs do kind of too in the early AFC, early AFL.
Okay, yeah, but that was how many years ago? 50,
I don't know,
60
is it
years?
50 now?
You know,
When I read about it in elementary school, it had only been like 20-something years. So to be fair, it seems.
I mean, we're
time's gone
talking
by.
what? It's like late 50s, early 60s. Like, that really, really good.
That's right.
They haven't.
That's not 50 years.
Well, yeah.
50
70.
to 60.
I don't think that's right.
I would like the Chiefs Saints Super Bowl.
I think
And I would
Chiefs
like,
Saints would be a lot of
and I would like the Chiefs to win it. They're my top. Saints are number 2. Rams 3. Patriots 4. That's mine.
cool.
I think Akeem Hunt. What was that running back?
Kareem
Kareem
Hunt.
Hunt,
Yeah. See, I should have given that warning. Never
Kareem
met-
the African Dream.
Yeah, no, never messed with the. He was a running back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, we might
Never.
hire him as a kicker though.
Yeah, the Bears. The Bears are interviewing Kareem Hunt, aren't they?
Did you not get it? Because he kicked that girl across the floor.
Was it kick? I thought he
Well,
did.
listen.
Yeah.
Like I should have called
Honestly,
him and told
Cody
him.
Parkey should have took notes.
Talk about a doink. I tell you. Her head
Double
on the
doink,
floor.
man.
He should have.
Yeah, it was elevator door around on the floor.
God damn
Well,
it.
he's really kicking himself in the ass because he could be wearing a ring soon.
Yeah. And
Will he
who's
get?
the-
He'll get a ring if they win.
Would he due to the way he was let go? I
He's
don't
part of
think
the
he
roster,
would. I
yeah.
think there would be. I'm not sure he would. I
Ooh.
think they maybe would have written something in there to say like the reason you're being let
If
go
you get
is X,
dismissed.
and you've been dismissed due to this, and you ain't getting shit.
The last time the Chiefs were in Super Bowl was 1970.
Are any of
I
those?
was correct.
That's the last time they were in the championship.
Are any of those four ever? Have any of those four never won a Super Bowl, or are they
Saints
all
have
won
won. Patriots obviously have won.
Yeah.
Rams have won.
Yeah.
Rams won in St. Louis.
Chiefs have won.
Okay.
The
But
Rams-
the Chiefs one may have been before the merger.
Yeah.
Right at the very
It
beginning.
was 1970. It was 1970 on the dot was the last time they won.
Who they beat? The Vikings?
Let's find out. Discuss.
No,
So-
you can Google. Oh, he's got a shitty icon.
My top. Want to do my top 4?
Yep.
My top 4 would be Chiefs number 1.
Yep.
Like same thing. I think the fans deserve it. I think the.
Well, hold on.
Wait.
Say that
I'll have
again,
to
Kyle?
pause. Go ahead.
Kyle, what
say
was
it.
that?
Say it.
He was right. They beat the Vikings in
Very good.
There was a
1970.
play call. I forget what it was. That was the winning call, and that was like the name of the chapter in the book that I read when I was in 4th grade.
Nice.
Because that was the play call they had, and it was like, oh, I have to look it up. Go ahead. Ed.
All right, now. Sorry. Give us
So
your
definitely, I say Chiefs is my number 1 overall. I really would like for them to win for the fans, the city, like Andy Reid, so on. But I'll tell you this: my number 2, if the Chiefs don't win, is the Patriots.
Oh!
I want to see Tom Brady
What are you?
get the 6
What kind
rings.
of a New Yorker do you think you are?
I know.
Oh my god.
I know.
No, you lost all credibility at this point.
Number 3?
Jackass.
Number 3 will be the Rams.
So number 4 are the Saints.
Saints.
So you really don't like the Saints.
I really, you know what it is?
You
He's
know
a
what it
Panthers fan.
I'm a Panthers fan.
to put it on 2 spots below the Patriots is a real
I
disrespect.
really, yeah. I'm only gonna do I'm only doing the Patriots because I want to see Tom Brady get 6, and he will be the greatest
What an awful thing to say.
quarterback
And it.
of all time.
Honestly.
And the Saints.
You disgust.
Sorry, look, Kyle's so mad he put his hood on.
Off the pod. You're off the podcast.
You're
Sorry.
See yourself out.
Sorry
See yourself
about
out.
that.
put my hoodie up because I'm disappointed.
We'll call you up for the
I'm not
reunion
mad,
tour.
I'm disappointed.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? I'm disappointed as well.
Alrighty.
The
Should we
Vikings,
say
by the
that
way,
we're
in the
done?
Super Bowl were
No, you
favored.
got to do yours.
They're
I did
favored
my
by
top four.
13.
Oh, yes, right. You do yours, right? You
Oh
do-
yeah, okay, I'll make it quick. Patriots are the worst, no matter what you say. 3 Saints, seen it before with Drew Brees. Whatever. I'd rather see the Rams at number 2, and then number 1 would be
Yeah,
the Chiefs.
I think a lot of us agreeing on the Chiefs.
So we're
is
all on
number
the
one.
Chiefs
Yeah.
bandwagon right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the Rams win in my lifetime too, so and that was fun, and they had a really fun team at that point. But I would rather see the Chiefs win.
Yeah, it's what Mahomes is doing is incredibly special.
Oh,
But so it is
Mahomes
for Drew
is-
Brees. Like it's all, and
I
for
have
Brady,
all the
honestly,
respect
it's
to-
special as much as I hate
Yeah,
it.
the Drew
I have
Brees,
all
his
the
shoulder
respect in the world for
issue.
Brees, and all the respect in the world for Brady, but fuck the Patriots.
Yeah.
Now, Patriots lose in the Super Bowl. I will not be upset. I promise you that.
All right. So moving on from the NFL playoffs, and if the Patriots, well, we'll have another podcast
We've
episode
got another
up to the
podcast.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll
Because
have a pre-Super Bowl podcast.
Ooh,
Okay, yeah.
that'll be good. And it's actually going to be the AAF preview podcast
And it will be.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will know exactly what the state of play is in our little rankings, and we'll be able to talk about both games.
Cool.
Easy peasy.
If the Patriots in the Super Bowl, we won't even talk about the rankings. I refuse.
If the Patriots in the Super Bowl, we just won't address the NFL playoffs whatsoever.
You know what? That's actually probably a better bet.
Okay, I'm cool.
You know what?
with that.
Absolutely. Focus pure on AAF. We're hitting
It'll
the trailer to
It'll
it.
make all 50 of our listeners happy.
Yeah, exactly. 50 being a
is
straight.
very generous.
Yeah, I like
You're expecting quite a spike
Hey.
there, Kyle.
Hey, we got one in each
For the
state.
star.
We got one in each state.
Hitting the big time. All right, so
Anyway, we did have in Poland all long gone anyway. That's the-
yeah, they're out. Yeah, the Eastern European bloc is sailed.
Check it out.
The thing we're going to finish on, and kind of the focus of the episode, I think, for us was Josh had a really good idea of us doing, because it's honestly the last time we'll probably get a chance, our top favorite things from 2018, kind of with the focus on like pop culture, basically, entertainment, media, books, whatever, music. And then we wanted to also add on the top 3 things we're looking forward to the most in 2019. So, each person has 6 total things, 3 for each year. And we're going to go first doing the top 3 per person for what we were favored in 2018. What our favorite thing was in 2018. Kyle, do you want to lead off?
Sure. It's like a favorite thing. It's all media based for me. A favorite video game, a favorite album, and a favorite entertainment as far as it's movies for me. So first, I'm gonna go video game. Favorite video game from last year was Red Dead Redemption 2. It was. And then there were some definite players in there. Even video games last year were really fun. I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was super fun. Just played Spider-Man. That was super fun. But Red Dead Redemption 2,
I heard it. I think it's awesome.
it's just too damn good. It's a great story. I got lost in it. It was so much fun. It's great. For music, I went with the 1975. They released a new album called A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships, and
Who is this?
1975.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was focusing.
To anybody that claims to know me, they know that's my favorite band. I love them.
It's a good year, man. That's the year I was born.
Oh,
Is it?
oh, Jesus.
So you love me more now.
No, you've mentioned your allegiance to the Patriots.
Nothing will ever be the same again. Fucking
Nesta, before he continues, can we, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, you've got to get tattooed on you
Oh, no.
No.
just the number 6. That's it. Just the number 6. You don't have to have any other context, but
No.
because you wanted Tom Brady to get
Let's
the
not
sixth
do
ring.
anything as crazy as a tattoo, but he's got to have a henna tattoo.
Ooh, a hint.
Henna tattoo.
Henna tattoo.
No, I won't look at my
It's gotta have,
stomach.
You wanna?
On his arm.
No,
Put it up on
it's gonna
his-
be
on the
around,
Instagram.
around his belly button, and it's gonna be the 6 right here with the circular part of the 6 around his belly
And if
button.
I do a handstand, it'll be a 9.
Do a Lombardi trophy upside down like it's getting shoved up your ass.
By Brady.
Oh my god, you got it.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kyle.
That's all right. And then as far as movies, just the whole Marvel universe in 2018. We had Black Panther come out, which was groundbreaking and excellent. We had obviously Infinity War, which was a lot to take in and super fun. Then and then Ant-Man and Wasp in the summer was a nice palate cleanser after
Yes.
Infinity War. But needless to say,
Good way of putting it.
it needed to happen. But needless to say, those kind of took the cake for me right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no complaints from me. I think that Red Dead was definitely one of the best games of the year.
If not in the last couple of years.
I'll let you
Yeah.
finish it. I'm still
See you in
like
2022.
12%.
On
Yeah.
episode 733, Marty's finished Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nesta, do you want to do your top
Yeah.
3 things?
Yeah, top
favorite things for
3.
2018?
For TV shows, I guess, if you want to call it a series, I guess, on Netflix, 2018, and it's actually, I'm starting, I guess, chapter 3 or episode 3, I guess, in 2019, but it actually came out in 2018. But the Narcos series
Oh, nice.
on Netflix.
I've heard that it's really
It's really good. The first
Yeah,
2
I'm
episodes is
really
about Pablo and that whole Colombia cocaine trade.
That's where that meme comes from. The
And-
guy standing alone.
Yeah,
It's
it's
from-
awesome.
Yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah.
3 actually is how and no, I'm not a druggie, guys. I just like the Narcos.
I was born in 75.
But and the
You just like
just the
the ins and
Narcos
outs.
series, I think is pretty cool. I think it's just, and also
Is it subtitled?
it is subtitled. In some parts of it is. And,
Yeah, I suppose not all.
Well, three is actually subtitled more. I feel like it's pretty much the whole. Well, I'm only on episode 6 or show 6, but I will say it's a good history lesson too. If you think about it, how the DEA and how the government of the United States is actually corrupt as well because they want money. It's pretty.
God, I cannot wait till we do a conspiracy.
Yeah, so it is pretty cool, I will say. If anybody out there that have watched it, you agree. If whoever hasn't watched it, you should definitely check it out.
Awesome.
There's only 2 options. Nobody's not going to.
Yeah, I'm giving you 2 damn options.
But if you watch it, you don't pay attention, you're dead to him.
What else in 2018?
You're doing it all top of the dome?
What?
Are you just doing this off the top of your head?
Yeah.
I like it.
Music-wise, I mean, like, no famous 1975s came out or anything for me. And no.
Tom Brady
My music,
didn't write-
Led Zeppelin cover band.
My
Tom Brady didn't write an album.
My music genre is still like I'm still
Next.
living in like in the 90s and 2000s with like hip hop and dance music. So
Better
actually,
for it.
so really, no one really released anything new in 2018.
It could also be.
Run DMC didn't put anything out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was it's a tough one for them.
Movies? Moments? Any?
It doesn't have to be all pop culture. It can be sports related too. Maybe you're happy with the draft pick the New York Rangers made. Just kidding, they don't make good graphics. They're awful.
No, that's it. I guess one on a touchy subject. I am thankful that my lovely Basset Hound Sonny was able to live throughout
Oh,
2018.
Oh, that's true.
Because of
Yeah.
his injury, and actually in 2019, on January 11th, he celebrated his 12th birthday.
It's an old ass Basset Hound.
Yes, and
Happy birthday.
in April, I think a lot of you guys know in April that he slipped his disc and he was paralyzed, and I was going to put him down, but with some...
But we had to pry your fingers off of choking him to death. And he miraculously recovered.
Yeah, and some
The
second
loss of
opinion.
oxygen really regenerated that
It's
disc.
forced him to fight or flight, and he
and
fought.
then he actually fought a little bit, and we still have him to today.
It's awesome.
So that's it.
That's a great.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's a little touchy. I know we're having some good stuff, but
No, it's okay
I
because
think that was pretty
we
good.
honestly we had a discussion on whether or not we should include something that's like personal. And I don't think any of us did, but there was a lot. Maybe Josh did. We'll have to see. We'll see.
No,
now.
I didn't.
Or you didn't? Okay.
I didn't. Oh well, no. In terms of personal life, I didn't. But nothing is as life changing as an animal that you've loved for 12 years thinking was gonna go and didn't go. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like that's That's not really on the level of anything I had in 2018 or look forward to in 2019. That's
You're not going to look forward to that in 2019.
no. So yeah, fair play.
I'll do my top three. The first thing, and then this is in no particular order, but the first thing was Altered Carbon, the Netflix series, was fantastic. I loved it.
I need to check that out.
It's it's really good, and it's like typically, like I like sci-fi, and it's almost like this. It's like a gritty sci-fi, and it's not necessarily a whole bunch of spaceships and stuff. I don't know. It's really weird.
The setting is truly just a setting.
The setting is not. I don't know. It's incredible, man, and the characters and like the concept of the show is also just great in general because it's basically about like living forever, and that's kind of what
I want to live forever.
Yeah, I want to live forever.
I didn't even remember that was the 2018 thing. I thought that was 2017. I wouldn't have put it on there anyway.
I racked my brain really, really hard. And I was like, what TV shows have I... And that was one of the ones that stood out.
That was a very, very good TV show.
Yeah, it was great.
And the best thing about it is that there wasn't really a single character that you disliked, generally, because they were...
Or that you weren't meant to.
Yeah, they all had their own value to actually bring instead of just like side characters where you're like...
Especially for such a short series in general, they did really great with all the characters.
Development and everything.
It was incredible. Another one I had is it's kind of a combination of three movies that are actually from 2017. But because I had a kid, I wasn't able to go to the theaters and watch them. And they were all three that we were really interested in watching, so we ended up catching them. 2018. John Wick 2, Baby Driver, and then Kingsman: The Golden Circle were all awesome. And they all happen to all three be action movies, which I just realized as I say it out loud. Fantastic. Like, check all of them out. Baby Driver is one of the most fun movies I've ever seen.
I really enjoyed the first Kingsman, so I need to see
the second one's good, and it's weird. Channing Tatum's a little startling, but it's good. And then my third thing happened in December 26th, right at the end of the year. And it was a bowl game between the Cal Golden Bears and the TCU Horned Frogs. And it was the Cheez-It Bowl. The Cheez-It Bowl, it finished in overtime, TCU winning over Cal 10-7.
Oh, what?
They went into the overtime going 7-7. I'm just gonna point out a few things on it. I'm trying not to spend too much time, but it's fucking incredible.
You can spend as much time as you want.
Brother.
We are going quickly.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Looking great. Both teams had under 30% third down conversion rates. Both teams at the end of the game had less than 300 total yards. TCU, a year removed from a really potent offense, and they just did not have a quarterback this year, or he got hurt. They went 8 for 21 as a team passing for 44 yards and threw 4 interceptions. And when I say they, it's because they put a quarterback in for 1 or 2 plays who suffered from drop foot, where he couldn't feel his left foot. And the first play from scrimmage, he got blitzed to hell and had to try to run on a dead foot, basically.
How does he?
And got
Was
sacked.
he like born with it, or he like got? Who was injured?
No, it was. I think it was a matter. Like I don't know how you get drop foot, but whether it's like a pinched nerve or whatever else, it's a condition.
Isn't Jalen Smith coming back from that?
Maybe.
Cowboys?
I have no idea. But it did not go well for him. But he did have the highest passer rating of anyone on the team. Or of either team. He went 1 for 1 for 1 yard and had a 108-point rating. So they completed a pass. The Cal collective went 17 for 33 passing for 186 yards and 5 interceptions. So there's 9 collective interceptions. And the best part, I think, about this whole game is how bad it was. The announcers struggled the entire time. The people who were putting like the crons up on like the stats for the game, we're just keeping like, it's been 31 minutes since the last score. It's been 35 minutes since the last score.
Oh, man.
Because it was dragging on so much. And possibly the most fitting part of all of it is after this dog shit game and there's 8 interceptions, they go into overtime and Cal's first possession is a pass that gets intercepted immediately. and almost returned for a touchdown. And if they returned for a touchdown, they win the game. Except they wouldn't because they had a booster on the sideline run out to the side of the field, get flagged, so when TCU did get the ball back, and it's basically sudden death. If they score, they win. Instead of starting at the 25-yard line, they started backed up to the 40, and they could not kick a field goal for the life of them, evidenced by the end of regulation when they had sent out a decoy kicker to get iced and then sent out the real kicker who then missed. It was just an absolute. It was an absolute shit show of a fucking game. It was incredible. Those are my top 3 things for 2018.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Ice and a kicker. The real kicker smugly
Their
walking
backup
out
kicker.
to miss the kick.
Yeah, just like,
It's
fuck you guys. I was warming up.
Yeah, I used the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joke's on you, I'm going to miss it anyways.
Seriously.
Josh, what's your
cool.
top 3?
My top 3. I'll go as quick as I can. First one is Brighton having their first full calendar year in the Premier League. Been a long time coming.
Yeah, nice.
First time since 1982. First time in my lifetime. When I first went to the Brighton game, they were it was the same season they were 32 minutes away from extinction. So to be 20 years later chilling in the Premier League is pretty goddamn cool. Quite comfortably one of my favourite things to think that we're almost established, because if we stay up this year, that's
awesome.
2
years up.
So every year, right, you have to play. What's
Every
it again?
year.
The first.
It's the bottom 3
the
get
bottom-
relegated. Get
Team-
relegated.
I
20
remember like
teams.
when you came onto the team 2 years ago,
Yep.
they actually did make it. So now they actually made it consecutive years, right?
Yeah, so
Is that
once
the
they
big
made
history
it,
thing? Like what's?
so we were in the division below,
Okay.
and we made it in that year when we were in band room.
Yeah,
When
that's
we were
right.
in
I
that
remember that.
room, once we got there, we've since stayed there since.
Stayed there, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like 20 teams in the Premier League, and they all play each other twice in a year, so there's 38 games, and the bottom 3 teams with the worst records and the worst points get relegated down a division, so they go down, and then the top 3 teams from the division below come
Yeah.
up. So we've survived.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This will be 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
If we survive.
Since you've met
But that's big.
Nasta and I, they've been in the Premier League.
See that?
No, I met NASA before that. His was the season we went up.
But
So
you maintained
since-
it. But you
so
maintained it.
since you've known Nasta, they've been either promoted or in the Premier League.
I'm
Yes.
a good luck charm.
Yep.
And I'm a Brighton fan now. because
So
of
don't
that.
go anywhere.
Oh my god! How is it? Why is it so easy for everybody to become a Brighton fan?
I like
Because
it.
we're a friendly
Because I like the
bunch.
colors.
It's a great
And
story.
that's Josh's team. That's Josh's
It
team.
sounds kind of like Brady. And Watford has honestly an ugly
Brady's
press.
team.
Watford has a very
You're
ugly
the Moose.
Like if
Yeah.
I could get my hands
It's not
on
my fault Sunderland got relegated twice in 2 years. So it's-
My number 2 thing is, and this is very much just a me thing, but I'm going to say it anyway, was a new TV show that came out last year, and it's called The Circle. And if anybody hasn't watched it, get a VPN, get on a torrent, get on YouTube probably, and just sit and binge watch this piece of shit reality show. Because I have never been so glued to a shit show in my life since the beginning of like Big Brother.
you talked about it constantly.
It was my life for like 3 weeks. The concept is that it was 8 people went into an apartment building, and they all had a TV. They all had like beautiful furnished apartments, and the only way they could communicate with each other was via the internet. So they had like they had like a Teams chat, like an app, like for anybody listening, like Slack, Teams,
Discord.
MSN, Discord, WhatsApp.
AOL
It's a messenger.
Like,
It's a messenger.
I'm just saying that was very popular in the day for our older listeners. It may well be a nice nostalgia trigger. So, that's the only way they could talk to each other, and some people went in as themselves, some people went in with a total act, some people went in who were gay, pretended to be straight, some people went in who were 25, pretended to be like a 65-year-old dude. Like the whole thing was just to see how far you could get with the internet personality you created. And the winner, I can't say because if you watch it, spoiler alert, if you want to watch it, mute it for like do the 15-second skip thing on Spotify. The winner was a dude who went in pretending to be his girlfriend.
God.
And on the basis of that person won because they thought that he was the nicest girl ever, and he was just a dude, like who was his girlfriend.
And then the show following was catfished.
And what was really funny is that the guy who was duped by this, his name was Manti Te'o.
Oh god. He played linebacker.
But the whole thing was just addictive TV, man. The games and the tasks they gave them were just horrific. It was just so good. And if you do have time to watch it, just watch it. You won't regret it. Even if you listen to the spoiler, it's so good.
And if you find a torrent, at me, because I couldn't find a torrent at all, and it drove me nuts.
Probably would be better to find it now because it's almost got cult status, like that cult popularity. Because it was like so. Check it out if you have time. It's so obnoxiously bad. It's good. Last one was the World Cup 2018. Whether we want to take into effect England or not, the World Cup in 2018 was probably the best World Cup, taking out any personal bias I had anyway in a long time. Simply because the competition was on such a level playing field compared to a couple of years that it was really good. Like the last couple of years, you either had the Germans or the Spanish or the Brazilians that just ran all the way through, and you knew they were going to win it all the way from the beginning of the group stage. But this year, or 2018, you had no real clue who was going to win it because there was 5 or 6 teams that all looked good, and
some of them got bounced in the
and two of the final 4 weren't in that 6. Like the original 6 that were the top 6 favorites to win the World Cup. 2 that are in the final 4 weren't even in that top 6 with Croatia and England.
It's the most I watched the World Cup since, I guess it would have been 2010.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part for me about it was that America wasn't in it because...
you could look at it unbiasedly.
I already kind of did. I watched most sports impartially, or at least with I hate people. Like certain people, right?
Marty hates people.
I hate people. I wanted to see Alabama lose, not because I hate their players,
right?
Because I hated Nick. I don't even hate Nick Saban. I respect the shit out of him. I'm ready for. It's great seeing him lose.
Yeah.
It's my wife. My wife told me her kink was seeing Nick Saban angry.
So every Saturday she's happy.
Yeah. Well, it's just like they're up by 30 and he's like yelling. Anyways, the World Cup was phenomenal this year because it was totally unbiased. I got to watch 95% of the games.
Yes.
With close attention, and 5% on and off because it'd be at work or something like that. But still.
And we even arranged at work. I pulled the right strings to have every single game aired at work in the office.
It was brilliant.
So it really it became a real good.
Not
thing.
to mention the 32 team.
The 32 team sweepstake, everybody was invested, and then obviously from a personal perspective, England doing something that
Yeah.
I didn't
Shout out
think
to
I'd probably
Laura,
ever see again.
Uruguay all the way because she bought in 100%.
She bought it.
It was such a good tournament, and not only that, but with the whole Russia stuff, there was a lot of politics beforehand, and I don't know whether to say it was nice to just put politics aside for 8 weeks and just enjoy it because they did a very, very good job
Yeah,
hosting the World Cup. And I wonder if I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it. I wonder if the US not being there aided that. Because I'm sure that the channels over here would have wanted to exacerbate the potential issues.
Absolutely.
And I think that helped a little bit. But all in all, they nailed it. They did such a good job. There was really very little trouble. And I think that's because people know not to mess about with Russian police.
Yeah. Yeah, what goes over there kind of stays over there.
We'll see what happens in 2022.
Well, yeah.
Where are they going? To
Qatar, right?
Yeah.
Is it Qatar?
Qatar.
I always thought it was Qatar, but it's Qatar.
But I heard Qatar,
people are
the other
always
day.
pronouncing it Qatar,
I'd say it either or. It's Qatar or Qatar. Whatever.
Either
Do
way.
you think
it's
their
gonna be
favorite
it.
finishing move is the diamond Qatar?
That's not even given that kind of privilege. There are a bunch of dickheads that are building stadiums with slaves. Fuck 'em.
It's me.
Yeah, no, I
it's
know.
me.
I was watching that 60 Minutes show. Fuck them.
It's me building with slaves. Who die. Bam. All right, Kyle, what's your most anticipated things for 2019?
Okay, so keeping with the theme of video game, I'm gonna go with Cyberpunk 2077.
Is that confirmed for 2019? Because when I was looking at
supposed
games,
to be 2019. So
because
I
I
might
was
be
looking
very
at games, and
disappointed.
it was
with
on there as a maybe.
We'll have an E3 episode where he's like, I guess it's going to be my next year's most.
Yeah, but I mean, it's done by CD Projekt Red, who did Witcher 3, which is one of my all-time favorite games. They know how to do an action RPG game, and I'm so pumped. I know it's going to take a shit ton of time to play, but don't care. They do it right. I'm excited.
All you've got is time.
Yeah. At this point, maybe no. And then, yeah, until I have a kid.
Well, that's an off-air discussion.
Yeah. Not in the cards right now.
If y'all want to know, Kyle's fucking. That's what he's trying to tell everybody. He's getting his dick wet on the rag.
It's going to be on our 2020. Looking forward to the soon upcoming birth of Kyle's.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna be looking forward to that.
Shooting rope into a cave. The Kyle story. I'll have to actually bleep that. You're right. 55 minutes, real quick.
Oh, right. The next one, the MCU in 2019. I mean, let's see. We've got Captain Marvel coming up in a couple.
Very soon.
Yeah, like 6 weeks.
Yep.
Which real pumped for that.
You know, I went
Is
to
it 6
book-
weeks? For
Yeah, I got a notification about it saying, "Hey, pre-order your tickets," and I was about to ding you and be like, "Boys, let's go." Realize it's a week I'm in Iceland. So
Oh, yeah.
I am fucked.
You should watch it in Iceland, but there's sometimes.
I've already-
Everybody's blonde.
Yeah.
They did a recast.
I already told my wife, I go, hey, I know that we're going to Mexico like the week after that, but we need to make it a point to go and watch this movie beforehand.
Yep.
And then Endgame comes out, which got the notification. That's 100 days away today.
It's crazy.
So
Yes.
can't wait to see how 10 years of movies ends up. And now we've got Spider-Man Far From Home. So I mean, we've got the MCU coming up this year, and it's going to be great. Can't wait. And I'm
What the hell's the MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yeah, and then
Manchester United.
and probably the last one. I'm not going to use my trip to Mexico. That's going to be it's a personal one. Awesome, but
Go see ropes thrown into cave. The previous comment.
ridiculous.
La Ropa.
After the last couple, or after this past Monday, I am legit excited about the road to WrestleMania.
Cool.
I am legit
I'm delighted
excited.
with that one because I was really worried you were going to tap mine. So thank God.
No, I am legit excited about it. I was very worried that the WWE was going to just go out and say, oh, we're changing things and not really do anything.
Yeah.
But kind of looks like they might be. And
They're gonna have Kenny Omega and Drag compete for the tag team women's title, probably.
I hope so.
With Santino.
Ah,
Santina.
Santina Marella, yes.
And the ghost of China in their corner.
Yeah. The spirit of.
Nice.
Also throwing rope. Oh God.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and move on to NASTA.
The road
What are
to
you
WrestleMania is
anticipating in
looking very
2019 the most? You don't have to give me 3.
Just anything.
No, I got a couple things. First is I like to. Hopefully, my New York Rangers actually
Make it.
draft. No, they're not making the playoffs. Hopefully, and of course, we don't want a team to tank. We really don't. But nowadays, for a team to get a good first overall, a second, or maybe a top 3 pick, can set them up for years to come. So the Rangers are right now, I think, top 5 in the draft order if the season ended today. But they have been winning some games. I like them to win, but I also hoping they lose so we can get because this
But in a real competitive fashion.
yeah, in a real competitive because it's hard. I think it's hard to throw a hockey game, you know, unless your goalie just really
Show up on rollerblades.
yeah. You know, but there's a play in the a USA player.
Play with
Hughes. His name is last name Hughes is like he's like a game changer. So we'll see. Second, it's pretty much all sports. I hope.
Good. Thank you.
I pretty much hope that the Red Sox fucking explode. I don't mean explode like death. I just mean like...
I mean, they fly a lot.
Yeah, I don't mean anything like that. I don't wish harm on anybody. I just wish the whole fucking team...
Would
just
like the Marshall College.
No. I hope the team ends up like the... I hope the team ends up like the Florida Marlins. They just suck. Because, I hate to admit it, when did the Red Sox win the first...
04.
04. So since before 04, there was not even a fucking Red Sox fan in the city of Charlotte. Then when 04 became a reality and Red Sox won, everybody was wearing a fucking Red Sox hat. Because all you fans are a bunch of Boston bean-eating...
Ooh, bitches. I'm hoping you're going to say something.
Clam chowder... Boston Tea Party douches.
They're eating beans.
Lads eating beans.
Sorry, listen. If I offended anybody in this podcast, I do love you as a person.
Guys,
I do.
We've
but I'm sorry.
We're going to be canceling the live show in Boston.
Nasta loves him as a person.
I do love you. I just do not like the Red Sox.
The band Boston, he loves them, but everything else.
Actually, the band Boston's not too shabby.
He loves more than a feeling.
Right. And I just wish for all of us here and everybody's listening and everybody close to us great health and wealth. And if you become rich, don't forget about us.
So you're anticipating
Nice
great
save.
wealth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a yeah.
Unless you're a Red Sox fan, then fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Red Sox fan, I hope you great health, but your team loses.
But take a long walk off a short pier.
Enjoy your beans.
And welcome to Plymouth Rock.
Josh, do you want to go last?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Then so just keep with the same.
All right. So my top 3 most anticipated things for 2019. One is the return of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is one of my favorite TV shows going. Going into season 5, they weren't sure that they were going to get season 6, and season 5 was incredible. Following up season 4, which was even better. And they got renewed for 6 and 7. So season 6 starts in July. And it's totally worth checking out. If you watch it, the first 2 seasons are okay. They're good. They're necessary for everything else. 3, 4, and 5 are phenomenal TV.
I'm getting close to 3.
It's really, really, really good. My other anticipated thing, it kind of split. So for anybody who likes podcasts, welcome to the show. Tell your friends. Hardcore History is probably my favorite podcast of all time.
Second mention we've had today.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. When you said it, I was like, oh, God, he's on to me. So Dan Carlin, who hosts it, does these extremely long series. He also does some one-offs. He did like a 400-minute episode on the Celtic Holocaust, for instance. But he also did like 30 hours on World War I. Like, It's just fucking incredible. And it's great work, and it's all wonderful.
That's really what broke him into the mainstream. His
The Battle for Armageddon was phenomenal. And the Khan series is phenomenal, too. He's on the second episode released this month. The first one did in 2018, and I didn't even see it, really. But I usually try to wait for him, and I don't know if I'm going to this time. He's doing a series called Supernova in the East. Supernova in the East, and it focused on the Asia-Pacific War of 1937 to 1945. So the Japanese and Chinese relations, and then segued into World War II and Japan's involvement in the whole Pacific Front. Yeah, I'm really, really into it because it's going to be probably from Japan's perspective the whole way, which is
going to be
not. It's also not
a viewpoint that you usually get
ever.
Yeah. So
right. I mean, if you've ever seen Band of Brothers, there's a show called The Pacific too that came out next to it. And Pacific was great. But it made Band of Brothers feel PG, and it was R because Pacific was some rough shit. So I can't wait to hear about that. And then the last thing on my most anticipated 2019 is the inevitable Orlando Apollo's championship run and the inaugural AAF season. Get hype. Fuck Hot Shots. Fuck the Meme Express. Fuck the Commanders.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, fuck me.
And most of all, fuck the fleet.
And mostly fuck the fleet and fuck the iron. But training camp has started. We'll talk about that in 2 weeks, which I'm really excited to. But so far, Orlando, Atlanta, I think, was supposed to be the favorite going in because of Brad Childress for some reason, and because of Aaron Murray for some reason. But Brad Childress is gone. He took another job. And Michael Vick's their offensive coordinator, and I don't think they're going to do that great.
Wait, Michael
Vick is the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta
Good, he
Legends.
can really game.
Your most hated team.
Your most hated team.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
What?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Every single team are going to be singing it whenever they go to Atlanta.
God, can you imagine?
No.
That'd be awful.
They will be.
They're calling Atlanta the dog pound now. He's got a collar on his quarterback. He's not letting him do anything. Mostly, the other anticipated thing, and I'll make it like kind of squishy, is this podcast, because it's a good reason to hang out for all of us, and it's going to grow slowly if it ever grows at all. I don't give a fuck. It's just fun to record bullshit.
Yes, General.
And I thank y'all for going along for the ride, and I thank Nasta for forcing his way into
Had a strong arm my way into it, I'll tell you that.
He's got a gun to all our heads right now.
Yep.
Came in,
But
pried
he's-
the door open with a crowbar.
But he was exactly what I think we might have been missing.
The door doesn't have a lock, by the way. So we just walked in.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought,
I use a crowbar still.
I thought you guys were having lunch, and I just made myself at home.
5 in the afternoon.
You got a lot of computers out. What's that microphone?
Why are you guys eating lunch at 5?
Where
Are you spying on someone?
Why are you talking to that silver thing? Are you spying on something? Are you on the NSA? All right, and we're going to finish with Josh's top 3 most anticipated for 2019.
Cool. I'll be quick. So I've done TV, movies, and something else. And I was really struggling with TV and movies. And what I did was I hoped to God that Kyle didn't take one, and then the other one I just went off kilter a little bit because I thought that the others might have been took as well. So, TV series, there's a bunch of good ones this year. True Detective has already started. Season 5 of Peaky Blinders is coming out. There's a lot of good shit. But the main one is Game of Thrones.
Boom, boom,
Oh,
boom.
nice.
Can't wait.
So gay.
More for me than anything else is because actually I was a book reader, so
Yeah.
I read
You
the
were a book
books.
reader?
Yeah, I read the books first. I'd read them all up until they said that they were going to bring it out, and I tried my damnedest to never be in the books because it drives me insane when people do that to me. But it's going to be nice to
Is that
know
your
I'm going to
American
get
accent?
some. No, it's my dog accent. It's going to be nice to get some kind of closure, though, because it's widely accepted that that fat prick's never going to finish the book series.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to get actual closure, and I don't have to worry about the books anymore. Like, they can jog on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, what, 6 90-minute show? Like,
Yeah.
90-minute episodes?
And I guess that like the production value for each episode was like 15 million or something like that.
It's going to be hype as shit. And as a fan of it, I'm really excited for it.
Nice.
Is it like a chairs match where it's just they're hitting each other with thrones? How does the...
Well, from what I've
What is that show
heard,
about?
some of the rumors I've heard
About
is
Triple
that
It's about Triple H.
they're going to decide the king of the 7 kingdoms via a royal rumble.
Ooh, that's hot.
yeah,
The gauntlet
the-
match. It's a gauntlet
It's a
match.
lumber dragon match.
So my second one, movie-wise, again, there's a whole bunch of good stuff coming out. I knew someone would take the Marvels, so I didn't even bother having them on the list. The new Lion King, like the new version of Lion King, looks like it's going to be
that
fun.
does-
Everybody
Yes.
white walks with Elias.
That does look
Oh.
Whew. Okay. Lion King's going to look really good. I think that's going to be fun. I don't know whether I'll go watch it at the movies, but I will watch it at some point. Toy Story 4 also looks really cool, so those were the ones I was thinking about talking about. Tom Hanks said that the last scene, or the last couple of scenes of Toy Story 4 was so emotional that they had to go through the lines like 80 to 90 times because he struggled.
Tom Hanks is
So
very
I'm
emotional.
happy for that.
He had cancer in Philadelphia. He had a lot to go.
Yeah.
But the one I'm most
And he was
looking
stranded on
forward
a
to-
damn island, too.
Yeah, straight on the island.
And
Went
he-
from
and
little
he-
to big, and then back.
And
And
then
then
he
tried to
he
save
also
some dude
landed
in the
a-
middle of Germany.
Yeah, so he was lived a life.
And then he landed a plane in Hudson.
His son's failed acting
Yes.
career.
Yo, and he did land a plane in the Hudson, too.
Yeah.
He's done a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But my main one that I'm looking forward to, and there's every now and again a movie comes along and it changes something. So for one of them, and for the horror genre, I like the horror genre a lot. So for one of them, a couple of years ago, there was one called You're Next. And if you haven't watched You're Next, I would watch it. Because you go in and you assume it's going to be another slasher movie, and it tips itself on its head, kind of almost like Dusk Till Dawn. And I'm a big fan of Dusk Till Dawn too.
Yo, that was awesome.
It's not the same kind of movie, but
Tarantino?
he's in it, isn't he? Is it
But
Rodriguez
is it like a vampire?
Yeah, it's with Clooney in it.
Really?
For Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Yeah, he was
But
one of the
for-
Sarah
Salma
Hayek.
But for You're Next, Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Yeah,
Your Next doesn't have any of those people in it, but it has the same premise of that you go in and it's a horror-based movie and you think it's going to be one thing
What's the name
and
of
it
it
ends up
called?
being another. Your Next. This
shit,
next
check
movie
this
I
out.
watched in 2017 had the same effect on me, and it was called Happy Death Day. So I went in expecting just some bullshit rom-com.
That's when she woke up every day.
thing. Yes,
Yeah.
like almost like a rom-com-y Groundhog Day that I was just going to go and watch with the missus and get it done. Turned out to be the funniest movie I've probably watched in all of 2017, barring the Marvel show.
I saw the
movies.
previews for that, and it looked really, really fucking interesting.
It was incredible. The entire premise of it was essentially like Groundhog Day, but a murder movie. And they threw so many last-minute swerves that it got to a point where you were like, what the fuck is going on? And for a movie to do that is quite... It's not often you don't know what the hell's going to happen in a movie. Especially one that you have no expectations for, so it really...
Cabin in the
like,
Woods was the last horror movie that did that for me. That
Yes.
turned it on its head.
Yes, it's similar to that, but not to that level, because that just goes to like...
There's also
90.
meta kind of too.
Yeah,
it was
very.
great.
The lead actress in it is an absolute worldie as well, so you'll do yourself a favour to see her in there.
Nice.
And the whole thing's just great. It's just funny and stupid, and they announced the sequel that's out Valentine's Day this year. So
Happy Death Day to You, is that what the sequel's
yes, so I'm hyped for
Let
that.
me see that
That's
other
my
one.
movie
What's the
that
other
I
one?
picked.
You're next.
Your Next is also fantastic. I would recommend you watch
Now, I do have a question.
Your Next because that's funny.
To your for you guys. You guys are the wrestling fanatics.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Commonly known as that, yes.
I was
Welcome to the Wrestling Fanatics Podcast.
I was watching something on TV, and I forgot what it was, but two female wrestlers last week were in like this match, and people were taken back from it because one. Now I don't know if it's true.
It is true. I don't know.
One of the female wrestlers took her
Oh God, yes.
tampon out and and stuck it in the other
Yeah.
woman's mouth.
Yeah, I read about
And
this.
I'm sure it was, acting, but
Excuse me.
was it legit? But wait, but was it?
Still real to me, damn it!
But was it like? Wait,
So-
I like a lot of people were like pissed about it, and I want to ask you guys because I did not. Normally,
So-
I watch this fake news CNN, but this wasn't on CNN, so it had to be real.
So I heard and saw
what
this
happened?
about 6 days before it got viral with anybody that wasn't a wrestling fan. Because it was at a small time.
Because this happened like
show.
last week, I think.
It happened 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2
it
weeks
got
ago.
publicized last week, but it came from
That's why I wanna ask you guys.
Suburban Fight Pro, I believe is the name of the promotion.
I don't know
in
how we haven't
California.
talked about this.
Oh, so it wasn't okay. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
WWE or WWE. Like it wasn't
No,
like.
it's like
Oh,
it's the
no,
kind of
yeah.
show you go to here.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's like a slightly more prestigious than just.
And the only reason I heard about it was that like the day after the wrestling podcast, one of the I listened to, those host that they announced that show, so they were talking about it. So, tampon was a worked tampon, not a real tampon.
Yeah, it wasn't a real time.
Obviously.
Oh, great! Because that would have been
Because
a
that
real
would
fishy
be-
subject. I'll tell you, man.
God. Well, it was a blood feud.
Okay. No, so what happened? Seriously,
It was just
I-
it was part of the story, and I think the match started off with actually that girl pulling something out of her tights, like brass knuckles or something along
Okay.
those lines, and it was brilliant because that wrestler is known all across the world now.
Yeah, like it was big.
And it jumped a
Huge.
lot of people off sides because a lot of people were super pissed off about it.
It was like a big thing on the news about it. Like people were taken back. I was like, let me just hold on
Yeah,
to this,
she's gonna get great
and
looking
until
now.
I meet with you guys.
She was in the Mayan Classic too.
Oh, really?
20 years ago, people were giving birth to hands and putting dirty socks in people's mouths.
On the USA Network.
How anybody can get hyped up about a fake tampon is just beyond me.
Dirty sock coming out of someone's jockstrap.
Yes.
You know this day and age, you can't even look the wrong way, you're offending somebody.
Yeah.
Mae Young was showing off prosthetic boobs.
Yeah.
It's a great story though, Nesta. Thank you for bringing that up.
yeah, thank
Sorry,
you.
guy. I don't know. Listen,
no,
if I have any
that's
wrestling
great.
questions, I go to the three.
And like a tampon in the mouth, we're gonna cut this off.
Okay.
And
Cut it off by the string.
cut it off by the string.
more.
We're gonna pull the ripcord. You have one more?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did a movie. I did Game of Thrones.
Sorry, you listed
sorry.
5
Oh,
things
did I
for
cut
each.
I
you?
was
Hey,
given honorable mentions.
hey, did I cut you? I might
All right,
mind
all right,
this
Kyle.
podcast. Go
You
ahead.
know, someone has to.
I feel
Happy
bad.
Death Day to you. Yeah, my last one
Oh.
was, and the only reason I had it on here, I had 2, and I checked one off, was All Elite Wrestling.
I'm
So
surprised no
I'm
one said it.
So I'm excited by
It's
I
all
had
right.
that and the AAF next to each other because I knew one of you was going to give about one of them, so I just crossed the other one out. Really good, really excited by it. The dude's pumping serious money and serious names into it.
Let's go, Jags.
If they do it right,
Jags on it.
it could be a really fun thing. It's either gonna go to like horrific meta smart hell, or it's actually gonna be a really entertaining product. And if it goes that way,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Looks like it's gonna be run kind of like a sports league, which is what I'm most excited about, probably.
They have a lot to do to get it right, but man, they're doing it. The first steps are perfect.
Yeah.
And that's all I
I
have.
agree.
Just wanted to mention that as the last one.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk about all elite wrestling.
Hey,
I'm
sorry, I
sure.
didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay now. So
I
I'll
thought
let
you were
rock.
done.
No, I mean I'm glad you brought it up because, frankly,
Didn't need
you know what?
that.
You just felt like you inserted yourself into
Like a tampon
like
in
a
someone's
tampon.
mouth.
And then you pulled out like with a string.
Is that it?
That is it, guys. Thank you for enjoying issue 9. I mean, I guess I hope you enjoyed it. Fuck off if you didn't. We will be seeing you in 2 weeks, and I already know what we're going to talk about, and a lot of it's going to be AAF centric. And I'm super
In
excited
Super Bowl,
about
unless the Patriots are there.
it. Pardon me for the cough. NASA, it's going to be your corner.
Damn it.
Cannot wait.
No.
You're going to have to prep. All right, we love you. Bye.
Later.
Bye bye.
Peace.